I mean, Dr. Patel, the facts bear out what the Rev is saying. He's been at odds with the scientist, most publicly Dr. Fauci, but news reporting from Eli and other reporters on the White House beat have suggested that Dr. Birx has been ostracized as well for hewing to the data. So it is an interesting moment to want to be associated with this scientific feat, but I want to pull in the reality of where we are right now and something that you said. You said this on the show, and I've tried to put this into practice in my own life. It's harsh, but it's a good way to protect your family, and I want to come back to it. You said we have to act like everyone we come into contact with has COVID, and we are going to have to make the kind of sacrifices beyond what we were asked to make in March and April. It's going to get worse unless we are willing to literally make severe restrictions of our own movement. I'm not just saying cancel your air tickets. I'm talking about not having people over or going to someone's house for Christmas and Hanukkah. I want to unpack all this, but act like everyone you come in contact with has COVID. The first time you said that, it was really jarring, but it just changes the distance you keep around yourself. Having your child wear a mask, even when you go to the park, in case you might run into someone. Because if you're thinking, because of the way it's circulating in all of our states and all of our communities, it's certainly possible that someone doesn't know they have COVID. So protect yourself as though they do. But talk about just the mind shift that's required to live that way.
Yeah, it's an incredible mind shift. I've had to do it myself, and it's heartbreaking to tell your children that they can't have a play date. It's incredibly isolating. And so I've also tried to be mindful that even when I'm trying to avoid others, and I also am trying to find a way to meaningfully connect with other people, because the fatigue is real, the depression is real. So we have to just substitute what normally would happen in an embrace or in kind of having a smile, because you can't see it under a mask as easily. You have to find ways to do it differently. And that can come in a number of forms. But be clear. I mean, you're right. Dr. Birx has been silent. I'll give Dr. Redfield credit. He has said that we are going to continue to see deaths that equal kind of mass catastrophes every single day. And so you have to really act like your life depends on it. And I'm hoping that people will take that to heart going into the holiday season. And we didn't have to be here for so many. The Reverend is right. We did not have to be at the stage we are at, but it is where we are at. And we have to do everything possible to protect ourselves and our loved ones. If any of you know people who are planning on inviting or visiting people that are at higher risk for dying from COVID of a certain age, chronic conditions, people who live in nursing homes, try to find ways to meaningfully engage with them without getting them into high-risk situations. So you have to decrease our contacts. And I would say anything over the next several weeks that you were planning to do that involved going to a restaurant, going someplace even to have a cup of coffee, just think about your movements and how you can minimize interactions, but still support small businesses, still support the restaurants that need financial support, and do everything possible to protect the ones you love.
I mean, can I ask you just bluntly, like, for how long? I mean, for how long do you think we have to live like that?
Yeah, I do think that until we start to see the numbers come down, and then even past that, unfortunately, we are not going to have enough of the population vaccinated until probably, I'm being a little more cautious in my estimate, and I'm trying to say that we might get to 70% of the population getting vaccine or having been infected by the summer, kind of May, June timeframe. So, Nicole, the world as we know it until that time, at least through the holidays and this darkest period of kind of January, we are going to have to act like this because of the numbers, because of the threat of hospitalization. And then I do hope that after January, and we will see tens of millions of people having had the vaccines already in their first doses, and then we will understand how we can get out of this. And you and I can talk in months about having been vaccinated, still wearing masks, but then in a year where I am looking forward to having a holiday season where I hug everybody I know in a hard, like as tight as possible. And I do think that's within reach. Yeah. I do.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.